Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, in case you guys don't mind, my presentation is in English. So, let me ask you something. Is the world perfect? Is it flawless? Of course not. But there's something happening right now that can make the world better. It's called the Sustainable Development Goals. Even so, a lot of people don't actually know what it means. So, what does it mean? What are they for? And most importantly, how do we understand them? Hi, my name is Alia Kirana, and today I'm going to be talking about Sustainable Development Goal number 1, no poverty. So, let's get straight to it then. The SDGs, or Sustainable Development Goals, are a series of 17 goals fixed by the United Nations, with the overall intention to create a better world through economic, environmental, and social development. Now, any sane person in this earth will say that it sounds kind of boring, but don't worry, I'm going to try making listening to this worth your time. Now, this begs the question, what is poverty? It sounds like a pretty weird word, doesn't it? But actually, according to the Oxford Dictionary, poverty is about the state of being extremely poor. In my own definition, poverty is about not having enough money to meet the most basic needs, such as food, clothing, and shelter. But what's the divider between what is considered poor and what is considered rich? Well, it all comes down to money and opportunities. See here, rich people, they have more money from the start and they can afford good education. Good education means they can get good jobs. Good jobs means they can get good payment, and the cycle continues. Meanwhile, people who are less fortunate, they don't have enough money from the start. Hence, they have trouble finding good education, good healthcare, and eventually good jobs. They don't get good payment, and the cycle continues. This gap in between those two is made even worse by systems that tend to favor those who are already rich. So let's say you're looking to hire someone. You would hire someone who would already have experience, not an upstart person. Okay then, so some of us are poor. So what? It's not like it's our responsibility to do it. The government's got this in the bag, right? Wrong, because 9.4% of the population of Indonesia live below the poverty line. See right there? That's Jakarta. And for every 1,000 babies born inside this country, 21 of them die before the age of 5 because of poverty. There is so much we can change. Okay, the thing that makes me sad is that some kids have to go through things totally different from us. Our parents, see, they work hard to pay for the food on our table, the roof above our heads, the clothes that we're wearing, and especially the school that we're in right now. You didn't get in here for free. Oh, but then you might say, my parents say buying an iPhone is too expensive, or I don't have enough allowance. Well, you're not the ones collecting trash for a living and sleeping under bridges. Appreciate what you already have. Don't buy too much of something you don't need. Okay, there's something I would like to tell you. Near my house, on my way home to school, every single day, I always pass by this small public park that the government installed. There's nothing more than a few swing sets there, but what really makes me smile is seeing families go there and have fun. Kids, my age and younger, they run around riding their bicycles and they look like they're smiling a lot. I just can't help but join and smile too. Sure, it may not solve the whole poverty problem, but it does give us the slightest push that we need to keep moving towards a better future. The smallest smile can make such a huge impact on the world. There's so much more we can do than just what we are doing now. But what exactly has the United Nations been doing to enforce the Sustainable Development Goals, especially no poverty? Well, turns out the UN has been working really hard to create new jobs, better education systems, and better healthcare for those who are less fortunate. They're trying to erase the many inequalities that this world has in order to support the lower communities. But we can't do that. We're just normal people? Well, as people who can't afford to donate millions of dollars like Mr. Beast, we can start small by helping them by donating what we don't need. Do you all have those old clothes or textbooks that you don't use anymore? Instead of throwing them away, you should try donating them. My family has once donated some clothes to a family who lost their house to a fire. It felt so good because I know that at least we're doing something to make their lives the tiniest bit easier. We can start small. There's a lot we can do to help them. Okay, a little story time. Near my old school, my elementary school, there's this small shelter. It's made out of wood, it's made out of bamboo. It doesn't have walls, but it does have a roof and a carpet floor. It has shoe racks, it has posters and banners. Do you know what it is? It's a school of some sorts. Kids from the surrounding areas, they live in poverty and they go there to learn, to study. I have total respect for the adults who volunteer to help them learn how to read, how to write, how to draw, and it looks like they're having fun. I've heard them singing songs together, and it warms my heart to see that there is still some hope left in this world. Next, why is it so important to get rid of poverty anyways? Well, turns out the impact that poverty has on our world is much bigger than we thought. On a larger scale, low poverty levels could increase the country's progression. If the efforts to reduce poverty are successful, then there would be better jobs, better education, and better healthcare. Society as a whole would become more equal and more fair, and families could break out of the cycle of poverty. However, if the efforts to reduce poverty are unsuccessful, we would have more suffering and more crime. Why more crime, do you ask? Well, let's say this. People are inexperienced. They didn't have good education and they don't know how to make their own money. What do some people resort to? Stealing, because it's the only thing that they're able to do. The whole area would become more dangerous and the country would progress slower. Now, the Sustainable Development Goals are important because they guide countries on what they need to do to make sure that we move towards a better future for all of us. Now, the main points that we need to take in are that some people are less fortunate than we are, and we need to do whatever we can in our power to help them. The world can sometimes be very cruel and unfair, but I'm sure that if all of the Sustainable Development Goals are reached, the world can be a better place. Take it from me, 13-year-old up here who has Google and the slightest bit of AI to help think for research. Thank you so much for making it this far. I appreciate it. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.